Destination, Samburu. I think it is the coffee brought each morning to my tent before sunup that is my most constant pleasure. There are definitely ups and downs, highs and lows in this place, but African coffee and hot milk in the early morning brings a civilized order to this chaotic land. As I am doing now, writing on the bed, thinking of yesterday, my anniversary that should have been a celebration, but was frayed with the sadness of having to leave Finch-Hattons and torn to shreds by the fear of the tiny bush plane that would take us away from Tsavo. A half an hour before we are to leave, I take a double-strength Xanax. When we arrive at the airstrip, Karen's anxiety spills over into mine. Her fear of flying mixes with my claustrophobia, and between us we experience the mother of all phobias. She asks if anyone has a Xanax, and I dig one out of my pack for her. We climb into the plane in a squat. Jack hits his head for the 10th time since we started this safari, and I sit in the seat farthest back by the rear door, feeling a warped sense of security at being close to the exit. There are 12 of us. The plane seats 12. Knowing my phobias as well as I do by this time, Jack tells me to move to the front. It's less bumpy there, although more confining. The row between the seats was not wide enough to walk, so with head bowed, I sidle down the row. Karen changes her mind about the Xanax and decides to gut it out. I look down at the pill still in my hand and pop it without even washing it down. I will not panic. I will not panic, keeps rolling through my mind. The pilot turns to address all of us, and I notice the instrument panel in front of him takes up the entire windshield. I ask myself, how can he possibly see over that dash? He offers us mints, explains that due to our weight constraints, we have to go to Nairobi first to refuel, and then on to Samburu Reserve and Larson's camp. I inwardly curse and glance back at the others who, unlike me, have ignored the weight limit and made it necessary for us to refuel, adding an hour to our flight time for a grand total of 3 hours. This is a mistake, the looking back part. Everyone knows when faced with the phobia of heights not to look down. I say this now for the benefit of anyone with fear of closed spaces. Never look back in a bush plane. The Xanax is working though, and I dig for my camera for a picture of the cabin crammed with our safari group to prove I have mastered yet one more of my demons. Then the other Xanax kicks in, and I promptly fall asleep. I wake as we hit the runway and open my eyes on the closest thing Kenya has to civilization, Nairobi Airport. It is a short taxi, and we all deplane while it is refueled. As soon as my feet hit the tarmac, I realize I am over-medicated. My legs are rubber bands and threaten to give out as I walk to the tiny commuter terminal in search of the bathroom. I follow the other women like a puppy dog and remember little except the ease with which I climb aboard for the second leg of our trip. We fly high over the city, and our view is depressing as we look down on rows of corrugated steel shanties, more of the same we had seen in Arusha, but these are not businesses. These are homes, and the people of the city actually live here. Just as many local people on Maui have not been to any of the other islands, most of these people have never been in the bush. Most have never seen the exotic animals that live just minutes outside of the packed city. They only know the hardship of survival. It is a very brief glimpse of a city to which we will return in just a few days. We must pass through this portal again to get back to our world. Once more I realize that I much prefer the bush to the city, and it seems to me that the wild animals are better off than these domesticated ones.